With deep sense of optimism, the Nigerian government and the citizens even have been expectant that the economic diversification drive would yield positive results. Of course, it is good to be hopeful, but then what has the agenda setters? What have they been saying about this? How well have they publicized issues relating to economic diversification? Today, our focus will be media on economic diversification. I'm Eunice Johnson, and my guest is Joe Ita. He is the head corporate communications Nigerian Export Promotion Council, and he also is a public relations expert. He isn't just an expert, he is a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. You're welcome.
Thank you, Eunice.
It's good to have you. Basically, like I said earlier, our focus is on the media and economic diversification. Now, in line with the much talked about diversification, the onus obviously rests on the media to bring the information to the people as to different sectors, this inclusive. What role would you say the media has played in doing this?
Economic diversification implies the process of growing various aspects of economy through diversification. And then I think that that has a way of being the concern of the media, because the media is the major bridge of communication on this. And then I would like to inform us that the media in its role has been the vanguard of selling government policies on economic diversification. It's been the one that panels stakeholders, takes them on what they should do and what they are doing about economic diversification. They have not stopped there. They are not being the fourth estate of the living for nothing, because it is their duty to work as a watchdog on corruption issues. And you agree with me that corruption has a way of affecting development. More so, it is still the media who plays an important role in putting stakeholders, small and medium scale practitioners, enterprises, on the know of where to go to lead to diversification of Nigerian economy. In a nutshell, I'll tell you, in the words of one of the past DGs of Voice of Nigeria, Aremu Alimi Taiwo, he said that while there might be information without development, there cannot be development without information, and that is the key role of the media.
So with all those roles that you have mentioned, would you say the media has played those roles very well?
Of course, I would say they have done their bit so much, but this sounds still so little. I'm saying this because the media, upon all this, have not been able to lift the level of exposure to what should create the desired impact in the diversification business. Of course, I can tell you maybe in the course of our discussions, they have their limitations. And of course, the media cannot actually grow beyond the environment, the society it's operating.
Okay, but would you say there has been any form of synergy between or among stakeholders in the media industry? Amongst both for the economic diversification, people in charge of those, and the media, has there been any form of synergy?
The media seems to sit across as a fulcrum of development, and so everybody becomes their stakeholders, including yourself, including myself. And so the media has been able to create synergy even amongst themselves, among the stakeholders, because they cooperate to expose what needs to be exposed about development. They cooperate amongst themselves. I've seen how they will adapt programs from the print through the electronic and to the other media. And so when they share this information, it has the potential to exponentially drive and get people to know what they should do, when they should do this, and how they should go about it.
Okay.
So there's synergy but we can up it a better.
Okay. Speaking of the media upping their game, you find out that in recent times there has been so much emphasis on agriculture,
Yes.
which is one of the diversification key drives of the government, the tool. But you would agree, you are, you know, it's your field of expertise. So you would agree that there are so many non-oil exports that exists in line with the diversification. Why is the emphasis so much on agriculture by the media? Why agriculture, as if that's the only this that exists amongst in terms of diversification?
In the 60s,
yes.
Before independence and slightly after, agriculture was the mainstay of this economy, an economy like that of Nigeria, until oil was found. And lately, our main source of income, what has hyped our GDP, has been oil. And so lately, with the fluctuation in oil and all the problems is attending issues, we've seen that oil is not really taking us anywhere in the nearest future. And so the attention has to turn to agriculture to be able to raise our weakening naira, to be able to improve our reserve, our foreign reserve, to be able to create jobs, employment. If you find out oil has the potential to, it looks like a high-end product, but the employment is quite low. And so agriculture, a nation that is able to feed itself through agriculture and to produce to export the extras, should be interesting. And that is why I can tell you very well that agriculture should be it. It's the pursuit.
It's the way to go.
Yes, the way to go.
Yes, but
and Nigerian government has not really relaxed on it.
Rested on its
Yeah, because that is why it is a target, apart from solid minerals, and then also services.
Like you knew where I was heading with that.
Okay.
Aside the importance of agriculture, yes, we cannot take away the fact that agriculture has been there and then it's back and has come to stay, obviously.
Oh, yeah?
But you would still agree that there are other maybe that could be harnessed. There are other areas that perhaps if the youth and others look into, it could also be properly harnessed and yield good results. What are those other areas that you feel that the media should also pay attention to?
If you are diversifying, moving away from oil, the next bus stop should be non-oil. Exactly. And that is where you have the agriculture leading. You also have what we call manufactured products, semi-manufactured products. Let me pause to add that even in the agriculture, the advice is that it should not be raw. You must add value to have premium price for what you're sending out. There is also the craze or the fight for Nigerians to go to services. In services, you can realize so much. In fact, that's the way the entire world, the world economy is heading. Because services includes a lot of things like the ICT, like our experts in professionals in football, doctors outside, and all that. You also should think of areas like arts and crafts. I'm talking of exports now. With arts and crafts, Nigerian arts and crafts can do so well outside. Apparels.
Wow.
There is also the semi-manufactured products. In cashew, that value has been added. In palm oil, that is trading over $35 billion in the world.
Look at that.
Nigeria is not taking
Advantage
up to a percent of that. And so there is so much.
So there's still room for improvement.
Very well.
Okay. Would you say that enough publicity has been given to export promotion, issues relating to export promotion by the media? Very quickly.
Coming to export promotion by the media, I would like to say that in the last Nigerian Industrial Revolution plan. An aspect of it has to do with growing the economy by at least 5% in the year 2020. And a key part of it is what we call the Zero Oil Plan, which has been adopted and approved by the National Economic Council. And this has been given a lot of publicity. I take, for instance, a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity of looking through a product where NIPR alone was analyzed in the prints in Guardian, Punch, and Daily Trust within 3 months. It had over 380 mentions.
Wow.
Be it in editorial, be it in the write-ups, articles, be it in opinions, some front page mention.
Okay.
So we are moving.
Kudos. It's good to know that we are moving, just like you said. Let me use your words. Yes. We are moving, actually, despite the fact that agriculture, which is one of those priorities by the government, there are so many other existing sectors, and we're hopeful that the youth and every other person, even stakeholders, would key into it. My guest has been Joe Ita, Head Corporate Communications, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, and also a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Our topic has been the media on economic diversification. Thank you very much for being part of this segment.
What begins
surely has an end. We've come to the end of another episode of Insight. We thank you for being part of this episode of Insight. Do join us same time, same station next week for another wonderful package.
No matter how bitter you feel, don't think about breaking Nigeria. The chain remains as strong as its weakest point. Be the change that Nigeria is looking for, and they say change begins with you, begins with me. That's about it on the program today. Thanks for watching.